Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists out of pointless things. Why are we flying by this pointless statue in Booty Bay? Because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 is the fireplace in the Horde Inn in Dalaran. It's a pretty cool fireplace, but it's almost like the Horde just took one of those big fire pits they have all over and just put it in a fireplace frame. You know what I mean? And then they just threw a big turkey over it. At least I think it's a turkey. Which, by the way, that is a massive turkey. Look at that thing. That thing is as big as, like, an orc. Maybe bigger than an orc. I want to see where those turkeys are in the game. Like, has anybody even seen those? I don't even know. Also, somebody, like, smashed that beer mug over there. Listen, they have some crazy times over here. But either way, I think, you know, it's an alright fireplace. You know, it's a makeshift fireplace. And, that's why it's number 10. 9. Number 9 is the Blue Recluse. Recluse? I don't know how you say it, but it has the only fireplace I found in Stormwind, unless I completely missed one, which is always possible. But the main inn didn't have a fireplace, which I was like, that's kind of weird. So then I found this one, and reading more about it, the Blue Recluse is a tavern in the Mage Quarter of Stormwind City, and apparently it's known around the world for its classy atmosphere. And while not being mentioned by the guards as being one of the most popular inns, it has the most reputation in the entire city. Many hunters come here for a drink, just like Hemmet Nessingwary. He came here once and told a story to Flint Broadshot of how he found himself guarding 3 Frostsaber cubs from unscrupulous human hunters in Winterspring, which earned him his fame. Thazari, I don't even know. The first Death Knight to rejoin the Alliance also came here to have an ale as soon as he spoke with King Varian. So wow, look at that. Everybody coming to this inn or this tavern to have a drink. Although they're serving up, I guess, rotten meat, apparently. With all the flies flying around it. Also, the fireplace doesn't have a chimney. It's walled off. So maybe everybody's like coming here and having a good time, but they're just getting high off carbon monoxide fumes. Who knows? Either way, that's number 9. 8. Number 8 is the Roasted Ram Fireplace, which is the tavern in Valdrakken that you've probably been inside since, you know, it's new, it's Dragonflight, all that stuff. Unless you're watching this years from now, in which case it's not new. But I think the cool part about this is, I don't know if that's actually ram that's being roasted. I would assume that it is because the name. But it's a different type of fireplace. It's almost like a fire pit. And there's like magical elements involved. You know what I mean? Like the actual hunk of meat is like floating up and down. You've got the 2 swirling halos of fire kind of helping to roast the meat in different spots as it floats. And then you've got the fire pit down below it. And then the actual framing of the fireplace, which is really cool. It's this giant, you know, kind of dragon mouth looking thing. Because you get the 2 teeth by the panda chef right there. At least I think they're teeth, I would imagine, because, you know, dragons. So I just said imagine okay, I'm sorry. Either way, I think this is a cool fire pit place, whatever you want to call it. But having said all that, I do think this fireplace is a little too unconventional or simplistic for me. I don't know why. It feels that way. I mean, maybe on someone else's list this would be higher, but I was like, hey, you know what? I think this is, you know, probably around 7 or 8. So I decided to put it at 8. And, you know, it's still a good fireplace. Don't get me wrong, but I think there are some better ones. So that's number 8. 7. Number 7 is the fireplace in the Alliance Garrison. One of the good things to actually come from garrisons. It's a pretty nice fireplace. You know, it's a nice cozy room. You got the windows on each side. You got the big Alliance shield up on the mantle with a couple pictures or frame things. And the stones are really cool all around it. Like, it's a really nice, cozy fireplace. My only kind of gripe with it is it does have that same thing I mentioned earlier with the Horde, where it feels like the Alliance just took a bonfire and put it in the fireplace instead of kind of, you know, throwing a bunch of logs in there. But that's like kind of nitpicking it, you know. It's still a fireplace, right? But overall, you know, it's your standard cozy fireplace with some cool framing outside of it, and I think it's neat. But there's not much else to be said about it, so that's number 7. 6. Number 6 is the Borealis Fireplace, and I picked the Borealis Fireplace because I think it really does encapsulate the theme and aesthetic of Borealis very well. You know, I mean, for the most part, it's a fireplace, right? You got those big stones, you got the mantle, You got the fire. But, you know, you have so many things around it. You have the anchor right above the fireplace. You have the wheel on the wall next to it. You have the fish on the wall next to it. You have the little logs. Well, I guess they're normal logs, not really little logs. The normal logs with the fire tongs that you're getting ready to throw another log into the fire, which is a really nice touch. You don't see it a lot of other fireplaces around Azeroth or World of Warcraft, and obviously it's inside of an inn, so it's a very cozy fireplace, because I feel like every time it's inside of an inn, it just has that cozy vibe to it, you know what I mean? And one of the most important things is that it has a chimney. There is an actual area for the smoke to rise up, and nobody in here is getting carbon monoxide poisoning. So there might not be any wacky Hemet Nessingwary stories or Death Knight ales or whatever it was, but you know what? Nobody's gonna die. At least not of carbon monoxide. 5. Number 5 is the Wildhammer Keep fireplace, and I just love the aesthetic of this fireplace. I mean, you're in this big dwarven keep. You've got, you know, a bunch of chairs where they're just sitting around talking. You've got TNT, you've got guns, you've got beer kegs, you've got empty bottles of who knows what. You got anvils with hammers. You got a book. You got lock boxes. You've got these big iron beams that are kind of framing the fireplace with the underground rock style in the background. It's just really cool, man. I love it so much. And then you actually have way up top these animal heads on plaques, like the boars and the deer, and it's just, you know, in this big spacious area. So I just really like the style of this fireplace area and the fireplace itself. And you know, nothing crazy, but I think it's pretty cool. That's why it's number 5. 4. Number 4 is the Goldshire Inn fireplace, or I guess the Lion's Pride Inn fireplace, and this is just a classic. Literally a classic, for it's classic WoW. And I think it's one of the most notorious fireplaces in World of Warcraft. Like, when people think of World of Warcraft fireplaces, I think a lot of minds go right to this one, right? You think, oh, I'm in the Goldshire Inn. That big red brick fireplace, which this is during Winter's Veil, so we got all the stockings up there. You got the, you know, mistletoe, which I never realized is above the Christmas or Winter's Veil NPCs. It's a classic. What else can I say? I mean, I think when the Hearthstone Tavern guy is like, come in and sit by the fire, or whatever he says, I think he's actually just talking about this fire. I mean, you can even see the Hearthstone table right here, so it would add up. The only thing is, if you look inside this fireplace, much like the Blue Recluse or whatever, it is walled off, so there is no chimney. Even if there's a chimney up top, it's fake. No smoke coming out of that. The smoke is all staying in here, and there is carbon monoxide all over this place, which maybe does explain why so many interesting things happen at the Goldshire Inn. And that's number 4. 3. Number 3 is a fireplace that I don't think a lot of people know about. I know I didn't know about it. And it is the Fort Dalen fireplace, which is in the Stormsong Valley. And it's not even lit. So it's a little weird, but it has this big kraken on the mantle of the fireplace. And there's just no logs in it. There's these candlesticks next to it, which are really cool. It's like these 2 krakens holding a candle in each tentacle. And I mean, aesthetically, this fireplace is just awesome. And I would love if this fireplace got lit. I think it would look really cool if it was lit, but I mean, listen, just because it's a fireplace doesn't mean the fire has to be on. You know what I'm saying? And obviously, this is one of the coolest fireplaces, I think, in World of Warcraft. I legit didn't know this existed. All right? Like, I needed to get like 1 or 2 more fireplaces for the list. And I was like, I'm like looking all over, man, and I can't find many fireplaces. And then there was one in another Stormsong Valley place, and I was like, this one's pretty cool in an inn. And then I just flew down here, and I was like, what? This is, oh my god. And the crazy part, there's actually 2 of these. There's one on one side and one on the other. So there's 2 of these crazy Kraken fireplaces, and I couldn't really find any information on it. So if you know any information, or if this is part of like an Alliance quest line I never did or something, let me know, because even the building it's by, look, those big tentacle things right next to it, it's really cool. So that's why it's number 3. 2. Number 2 is this fireplace I found in southern Gilneas that, again, I didn't even really know existed. I guess maybe because I don't level many Worgans, I don't know, but just the fire itself is really cool. It's got this intense kind of glowing effect. The framing of it, there's this cool beast stone thing. I don't know what it is, but it's just a stone beast that frames it. There's cool tapestry up top with the wooden beams. Like, it just, everything about this place is just so aesthetically pleasing and kind of a little bit eerie in a way, but still kind of cozy. I don't know, it's kind of cool. There's skulls on the wall. The cauldron is obviously in there, so I really love this fireplace, and I didn't know where to put it, and it just kept growing on me, and at a point I was like, you know what? This belongs in, like, the top 5. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to put this at number 2. Because, I mean, I love this fireplace, man. It's so cool. It's so unique. You know, even that art on the wall there, the beach art, I think it is. I don't know what that is. I don't even remember seeing that anywhere. I think that's another kind of unique Worgen-esque piece of art. But I really love this place. I think it's really cool. And I think it's deserving of number 2. And number 1 is the Thunder Brew Distillery in Keranos, because it has not 1, not 2, not 3, but 5 fireplaces. That's right. This place has 5 fireplaces. Although, I think 2 of them are kind of, like, similar to the other ones. But it doesn't matter. Because this place has easily the most fireplaces per square inch, I think, in World of Warcraft. It's actually insane. Like, I didn't realize there were so many fireplaces in this one inn. Like, it blew my mind. If you could find another one, tell me, because I don't think there is. But this is just, it's such a cozy place to be with all these fireplaces. You know, obviously you're out in Dunmoreau, it's snowing, it's cold, it's blustery, and you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna go into the Thunder Brew Distillery and, you know, have a beer, sit by the fire. You know, your choice. You can sit by whichever fire you want. And it really is just the best place for a fireplace. And that's why it's number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, show your friends, show your family, show your dog, show whoever. And check out these other Pointless Top 10s if you missed them. Okay? Okay. See ya.